Hi, I'm Erin Rigetti. I'm here at BioEurope Spring in Barcelona. I'm here with Wendy White. She's the former founder and CEO of Siren Interactive and the current board chairman of Global Genes, which is a rare disease patient advocacy organization. Welcome.
Thank you.
Global Genes, the advocacy organization, works on behalf of the 30 million people in the U.S. and I'd say roughly 350 million people worldwide who have rare and genetic diseases. Now, your appointment as board chairman took place just recently in December. Tell me about your work with Global Genes.
Yeah, so I've been on the board for a couple of years, and this year we decided that we really wanted to take it up a level, and I have previous board experience with some other not-for-profits and associations, and so I was voted in as chair to take that, I think, experience and figure out how to really focus in on how we make the board very functional and how we make the organization really focused. There's so much need in the orphan drug space that I think for us to have a big impact, it's going to require us to completely focus on certain aspects of our mission, which is to eliminate the challenges in rare disease.
Well, I can tell you right now that you're definitely having an impact, or Global Genes is. I mean, I can speak firsthand of the Rare in the Square event that took place in January. It was just a great event. So
yeah,
you guys are doing something right.
Yeah, we're so excited about all the things that are going on.
Yeah, it's incredible. Now, your background is focused in advocacy for rare disease research, personally and professionally. And you were the Senior Vice President of Rare Diseases for Doman Life Sciences and the former President of the Healthcare Business Women's Association.
Yeah, that's right.
Now, just recently, though, you were, as I say, you were the former founder and CEO of Siren Interactive. Now, tell me why is it important for rare disease groups, or why do they need marketing?
Why do they need marketing? Well, everyone needs marketing. Actually, every time I hear a problem, I think, oh, that's a marketing problem. It might not be, but of course that's how I think.
Yeah.
And I founded and ran that company for 15 years. I have a child with a rare disease. I was actually already working in hemophilia when she was born, and I realized two things. One is that I really wanted to work in the life-saving end of the spectrum. What was going on in the rare disease space was, I have a passion for. But also, my background is in technology, and I thought, well, this is the future. If we think about the fact that we're going towards personalized medicine, working in the rare disease space is really an analog for that. Mm-hmm. And I love innovation and thinking about all those new models, and so it was very exciting. So I ran Siren for 15 years, and then when I thought about selling it, because everyone was getting so excited about orphan diseases, and I needed to be with a much bigger on a bigger platform. Instead of selling it to an advertising conglomerate, I sold it to a specialty pharmacy, and that's why I ended up as an SVP at Doman Life Sciences, where we did wraparound patient care for rare disease patients. Now, I would say that what was also interesting to me is during that same period of time I was did a lot of patient advocacy because of my personal connection, and I a couple of years ago joined the Global Genes board, and now here I am.
Fantastic. Now, how do patient advocacy groups impact research of rare diseases?
Yeah, so I think that that's been changing over the last couple of years, but the more that these small biotechs can talk to their patients way ahead of time, the better they can be. I was involved with a preclinical protocol development where I put together a patient ad board just recently for a cardiovascular disease, and the night before we had a dinner with all of the patients together, and they started talking about how much water they drink and what happened if they drank too little and what happened if they drank too much. And about 2/3 of the way through, one of the investigators who were sitting in the back listening leaned over and said, well, I guess we better not restrict fluids like they were thinking about. And so that just goes to show even preclinical, having patients sitting there as your partner is critically important. So at Global Genes, we think about how do we get the patient involved, how can we not do everything, but how do we train, how do we teach everyone patient advocates how to fish? How do we think about getting patient advocates to raise their voice, to collaborate, to raise money for, they figure out how to raise money at each stage along the way. And so what we're focused on is developing better patient advocates.
Yeah, sure. And you mentioned that a little bit in your panel today. You had a panel here at BioEurope Spring. And in that panel, you said that you ran a patient summit, which essentially brought together patients and potential partners. And it was an opportunity to cross the traditional lines, you could say, or you did say, of collaboration. Now, can you explain more about that specific event and the partnering and how it worked and how they interacted together to,
Yeah, so we, over the I want to say last 5 years, we've had a patient summit that's grown every single year. It just gets bigger and bigger, where we bring together like 800 in-person patients, and then industry people also come, because of course you bring rare disease patients, and then that's what happens, and scientists and government people. And what's so amazing about this event is that you can't really tell who's who. Everybody just talks together, because in the rare disease space, you don't necessarily know what role people are playing in their specific disease state. So this year, what we're going to do is add on to our patient summit. We're going to have a little bit of kind of a mini JP Morgan focused completely around rare disease. We're going to have a partnering event where we're bringing in investors and biotechs, and we're going to have it at the same time as the patient summit, but in a different building, and then they can commingle at lunch or at dinner, because in rare diseases everything is just tighter and the lines are crossed. So you might have a biotech that is pitching. In fact, we do have a biotech that is interested in pitching to patient groups.
Wow, that's an incredible opportunity for both sides.
Yeah, just to really think about different models and how that can work.
The biotech world definitely needs more of that interaction for sure, and across the board. Now, we're having an event, the Cell and Gene Exchange, and it's taking place in Washington, D.C. in May, May 22nd through 23rd. That's also a partnering forum. It's focused on advocacy groups. How is Global Genes involved in that event?
I think we're going to send somebody, and we're very excited about that, because the cell and gene therapy is really where a lot of the innovation is happening now. There's a big crossover with rare diseases. I think a lot of the cell and gene therapy are in fact in rare diseases. So we're really interested in what's happening there. And I think that all the same things that we've learned with rare diseases apply to cell and gene therapy in terms of including the patient all the way through.
Next wave, right?
It's the next wave.
Well, it's a pleasure, and I'm so excited to have you at that next event. It was really fun to hear you in your panel today. I love the patient perspective, and especially the story you just told just now about the water. I mean, I think that's so interesting, and it's great work.
All right, thank you so much.
Thanks for speaking with us.
Okay, thank you.